For tuning in. I wanted to talk about how I passed my CPA Core 1, the very first exam, and how you can do the same. So, with anything in life, really, academic or not, what I have learned from my experience is you must plan. You must plan, right? If there is a big exam coming up and whatnot, so planning is the biggest thing. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. All right, so that's kind of what this part one is structured around, is really preparing and planning for success. Now, what do you need to know? You first of all need to mentally prepare yourself of what is to come in the next 9 weeks. So the entire course, is 9 week mark. That includes the week of the exam. So you have 8 weeks of material, right? You have 8 assignments. And so first of all, you want to mentally prepare yourself. You don't want to be burnt out going into this. You want to be energized. You want to be refreshed. You want to be in a learning mode, right? So you want to make sure you know exactly what you're signing up for, and you want to be prepared for this. So mentally preparing yourself just involves making sure your energy levels are high. You don't have a lot of other commitments. Most of you are probably going to be working full time when you're taking this. That is how CPA PEP is designed, and that is totally fine. It is a bit challenging, but if you plan um, ahead of taking the course, you are going to have great success. It's just all about planning ahead, right? Knowing what's coming up, not being surprised by any deadlines or any other commitments. So yeah, mentally prepare yourself, be energized, be looking forward to the learning material. Don't be annoyed at studying. You have to be in the right mindset. You have to be in a learning mindset, in a growth mindset. You have to know why you're doing this. Why are you taking CPA PEP? Why are you taking Core 1? Why do you want to become a CPA? Right? So kind of answering those questions, getting yourself motivated. If you want, you can at this point even create a vision board for yourself with your CPA journey, why you want to become a CPA, and have some motivating pictures and quotes and things that kind of keep you going, keep you wanting to study, up on your wall, up on your desk, on your phone, wherever you want. This would be the step where you kind of do that. All right, now that you're mentally prepared, you're fully pumped, you're like, I can't wait come Monday. I am going to study super hard. I am excited to learn. I'm excited to become a CPA. Right now, now we're talking. Okay, now we can go to the next step. Preparing your desk, house, fridge, family, friends, etc. What on earth do I mean by this? All right, preparing your desk. You guys, this is not just any course. In fact, for any course, I would recommend the same, but this is an intense program, right? Unless you're taking the extended, then it's a little bit less intense. But this is a intense course. You want to do well, and you want to make sure you have a really good study space for it. Okay, so I really hope everyone's got a desk. If you don't, you want to scope out what kind of library you have near you, or where are you going to study. Okay, you want to have a designated study space. Please do not study on your bed or your kitchen table. If you can have your own desk, you need that. Okay, so have your own desk. Okay, have it be sturdy enough, big enough for you to be able to do your thing. Okay, now prepare your desk. Okay, minimalist desks are the best. You don't need clutter, you don't need a lot of things. Try to make it as much as exam condition like. You want to keep it clean. You want to have all your supplies, right? Check your pens, check your calculators. Everything is everything working? Okay, do you have a new notebook, right? What's your learning style? Okay, make sure you have all your school supplies with you. Okay, so are you going to be taking notes on your computer? Do you have a good keyboard, mouse, etc.? Okay, so just prepare your desk, prepare your space. Make sure you have all the things that are needed for you to be successful, right? Some people use diffusers, right? Some people people have different things, right? If you have your favorite coffee, stock up on that, right? If you have your favorite tea, anything and everything that's going to help you be successful, you need to do that. That's why I say house, fridge, family, and friends. So house and fridge, right? What I do before, entering into any course is just kind of go around the house, tidy up, declutter, organize it, because your space affects you in a really great way. And you want to make sure that your space is helping you, it's motivating you, right? When you go to the bedroom or when you go to bed, if your desk is in your bedroom, right, that the environment is how you want it to be. So this first bit is a lot about just your environment and making sure that it's helping you, it's motivating you, it's not stressing you out because there's a cluttered pile of notebooks, or there's dirty clothes or things like that. You just want to make sure, if you can go towards a bit of a minimalist approach, clean things out, tidy things up, organize things, that is going to help your brain be calm and be happy. Fridge. Now I think, okay, I'm a foodie, food's important, right? Food feeds your brain, food helps us. Sometimes we're on the edge, we're like, we can't study, but then another cup of coffee or a nice little treat can just help us, right? Or sometimes we're really into the study zone, but we're hungry, right? So you want some quick, easy, healthy snacks or meals to go to. So this is what I would do, right? Like I said, stock up on your favorite coffee or your juice or tea, whatever it is that you need, right? Just kind of, start off successful, and kind of plan, right? How many times during these 8 weeks, 9 weeks are you going to go grocery shopping yourself, because you want to kind of minimize that. And so if you prepare for it in advance, it's going to help you, it's going to save you time when you're actually taking the course. So I always highly recommend that. Stock up on all your favorite things. Preparing family and friends, right? So now you're working full time, you're taking this intense course, you want to be successful, you are not going to have a lot of free time or any free time, okay? So you really want to tell your family and friends, just so that they're not distracting you or bugging you when the time comes, but in fact they're supporting you, right? So that's really important. Let them know, hey, for the next 8 weeks, I'm gonna be hella busy, but after that, we can celebrate, or we can go here, and no, just so that they aren't, again, they're not distracting you. They're not being a distraction. In fact, if they don't see you studying, maybe they're going to be like, hey, so how are you doing, right? So you can even ask them to hold you accountable, right? Be like, hey, can you, hold me accountable? Like, ask me how I'm doing every week. I have, and you can share your deadlines with them, right? Like, every Friday I have this due. Every Tuesday I have this due. So, they can kind of help you out. And you can even schedule some productive chilling time with your family and friends, right? Like, hey, every Sunday, let's meet, but for the next 8 weeks, let's meet, but let's keep it productive, light, and short, right? So 1 hour walks every Sunday, or something like that, because it is important to get out. It is important, to be taking care of your mental health and physical health while you're going through this process. So do that. All right, next, preparing a calendar. Now, when you take the CPA Core 1 course, they are actually going to give you an Excel calendar, and it is one of your exercises to go through that Excel calendar, and kind of make a plan for how you're going to study and whatnot. So you can kind of use that, and it's really, really helpful. They also give you an iCal file, so if you're on a Mac and whatnot, what it does is it puts all the due dates on your calendar, which is a really cool feature. I highly recommend that. I definitely used it. So prepare a calendar. It could be theirs, it could be yours, however you want it. You might want to print it, put it up on your desk, on your wall next to your desk, right? But this is really important, okay? There are a lot of deadlines in the 8-9 weeks, right? You have workshop deadlines, you have quizzes, you have cases that are due, assignments that are due, right? So you want to make sure you are on top of your deadlines and that you're not missing anything, because there is quizzes, practice cases, integrated problems, all kinds of things. So you want to make sure that your calendar has all your deadlines, okay? And next to your deadlines, what I like to do is even put how many hours is each item going to take, okay? Just a tip if you want to do that. Now, prepare a study schedule. Now, you might be like, hey, study schedule, calendar, same thing. No, it's not. Your calendar is meant to have all the deadlines, events, okay? Now, in the calendar, I would also mark any personal events, okay? Is it your, is someone close to you? Is it their birthday? Is it your birthday, right? Things like that. In the calendar, I would also mark, is there a long weekend during the time that you're taking this course, right? Do you have any other commitments that have deadlines? Are you working? Is there a big audit that, so you want your calendar to be full of deadlines, because guess what? Your calendar is the one that's going to help you to prepare your study schedule. So you need to prepare your calendar well in advance, right, of preparing your study schedule, because now okay, what are my days off, when am I really really busy at work, maybe I'm not going to be able to work that day, maybe there is an out of office event, maybe it's a parent's birthday, it's someone close to you, it's a friend's birthday, right, it's your birthday, maybe you want to take some time off, I don't know. So you want to make sure that all your commitments, and you want to minimize your commitments, right? You really want to do that, but it's still really important for you to have this written down, because sometimes it's unavoidable, right? There are work commitments, personal commitments that are unavoidable, but knowing them well in advance and planning how you're going to tackle it is really important. Because say you have a work commitment one day, you do not want to schedule setting that day, because it's not realistic, and then what's the point? Come that day, you won't fulfill your study goal, and that's just your study schedule now is just not going to be realistic and practical, and now you're falling behind, and we don't want to do that, right? We want to create a very realistic and practical study schedule. Okay, now that you have your calendar, you can go ahead and prepare a study schedule. What this looks like, it really depends on person to person, but I would say start early. Okay, figure out what date you're getting access to your NOSHA, to your CPA PEP course material. Okay, start reading up. You guys, there is a orientation workshop. Get it done as soon as possible. Get yourself familiar with your D2L, right? Know how to navigate it. Know how to, how do you discuss things with your classmates? How do you, email the professor? Just make sure you start early and familiarize yourself, because a lot of things here are going to be new, right? The technology could be new to you. NOSHA could be new to you, right? Case writing, practice cases, that's all going to be new. ICPs, what is that? Like, there is some terminology of things inside the course that you want to familiarize yourself with. There is a getting started candidate guide. There is a survival guide. Oh my gosh, survival guide. Why do they name it that? But it's really important you read that, because it does exactly what it says. It helps you survive. But we don't just want to survive, we want to thrive. So that's why we're going to follow this prepare and plan for success method. Okay. So study schedule, it's all about, time commitment, understanding time commitment. So they say you're supposed to study around 15 hours a week, okay? How are you studying those 15 hours a week? You need that scheduled, okay? I mean scheduled, okay? Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? Write down what time you go to work, okay? Block that, grade off any transport time, right? Commute time, although most people aren't doing that right now because of the pandemic, but maybe some of you are. So you want to gray out the time that you're working, the time that you're commuting, time for your meals, and time for your sleep. Now that you've grayed out the basic time that you literally do not have, you know how many hours are left in the day. And if it's 15 hours a week, how, do you want to study Monday to Friday? Do you want to get your most of your studying done on the weekend? Do you want to study 6 days a week and have Sundays off? Like, you have to decide what kind of schedule works best for your life. I would highly recommend not studying more than 6 days a week, because you need a break, okay? You don't want to get burned out. You want to take courses after this course is over, once you've passed it. So don't, make a schedule that's realistic. Add some fun in there, right? You don't want your whole week to just be work and school, because it is 90 5% is going to be that, but 5% you need to have a life. You need to be able to do at least one thing a week that brings you joy and happiness outside of work and school. So I would highly recommend a 5 or 6 day. I would recommend mine was a 6 day study schedule, and I always took Sundays completely off. No work, no school, nothing. I just did my chores. I slept. I did self-care. I hung out with friends. I went for walks. I did the workout. I did grocery shopping, meal prepping, all the things. Whatever I wanted to, whatever my body allowed me to, and whatever needed to get done. Okay, so that is the whole calendar versus study schedule. I hope that helps. Okay, technical requirements. Now, CPA has some very strict computer requirements and things. You want to make sure it's all available on the D2L. You want to make sure you're able to view all the lectures, etc. You are meeting the computer requirements for the exam. You want to get it all done before you even start the course, not a couple of days before the exam, okay? Because you're going to be frantic, you're going to be panicking. So just get it out of the way, go to exam guidelines and stuff, get it out of the way now. Okay, study material. So this is pretty straightforward, right? CPA supplies you with the study material, right? There's no there's in-class notes and everything, so you know what to do. Or what material to go through, and that's fine. The learning ebook is extremely useful and helpful. It's basically your biggest resource for that. So you want to make sure you understand that. There's webinars. You want to make sure you schedule that in your calendar and your study schedule. Okay. So yeah, study material. Now there is also complimentary study material. Densmore is the most popular one. I personally used it. I highly recommend it. But it really depends, right? Is your technical knowledge strong? How strong is it, right? You might feel that it's very strong. You just did your undergrad, you came out real strong, so you don't need much else, right? No one else, needs much else. I had one study partner, my friend, and he did not, buy any additional material. He just stuck with CPA, and it is sufficient. You don't need to, right? It's person to person. Okay, so you want to make sure you have all your study material, and you kind of want to think about your study approach. Are you going to be printing everything every week? Are you doing it on your computer? If you're doing it on your computer, I highly recommend you prepare folders. Okay, you don't want it to be a mess on your computer. You don't want it to clutter your desktop, or you don't want it so that you can't find your files. Okay, so create folders. All right, you don't want to lose your work, so maybe hook it up to iCloud or Google Drive or whatever, OneDrive. There's so many options now. Make sure you prepare folders, right? Just do assignment 1 to 8, right? 8 folders like that, and 1 for workshops. Okay, that's what I would do, and maybe 1 for exam. So prepare your folders, get everything sorted out on your computer. If your computer is kind of slow or junky or disorganized or a mess, you might want to declutter your desktop as well. Okay, again, right? Having that very clean, minimalistic approach going in, right? Okay. All right, so study materials done. Exam requirements. It's pretty much the same thing, right? What's needed for the exam, right? Software, check the things, their items. Right now, exams are happening online, right? Virtual exams, so it's a bit different, but just make sure that you are up to date on the most up-to-date exam regulations. You can find that on the CPA website, right? You can reach out to the CPA and ask them, right? What's the exam requirements right now? You can just Google, you will find it. Okay. Time off from work. Again, this goes back to the calendar and the study schedule a bit, right? You're working. When is your exam? What day is it? Okay, do you want to take, is it right after a weekend? If not, okay, do you want to take time off? And if yes, what's happening? How, do you have vacation time stored up, etc., etc.? Does your firm already give you the 1 day off, right? It all depends on your working situation. So you want to make sure that you, first of all, that you are aware of this, and that second of all, you kind of plan when you are going to ask your boss for some time off from work. And if you're not asking, if you're not taking any time off from work, when are you doing your revision and relaxation before the exam? Okay, understanding what the course is trying to teach you. This is really, really important. Getting a better sense of what is Core 1 trying to teach you, right? And then, just along with that is understanding what the exam is trying to test you on. These coincide, right? Because of course they're trying to test you on what they're trying to teach you. Okay, so it's case writing, right? Case writing is brand new when you come to core 1. It's like, what's week 1 you're like, what's case writing? Week 8 you're like, I'm an expert at case writing, hopefully. Okay, so just kind of understand that going in. Understand all the topics. You'll see how they're divided up, right? Core 1 is really heavy on financial reporting. What is it, right? Just kind of get yourself familiar with the accounting handbook and the accounting fundamentals, right? Just make sure you understand what the course is trying to teach you. It's trying to teach you to, be more like real life, right? Writing cases, writing memos, understand the template of writing a case and writing a memo. What's a must? Conclusion is a must, right? Things like that. You want to make sure you really understand it, because it's really going to help you to understand what the exam is trying to test you on. There are also blueprints available, and that really can be a big help, right? There is also a competency map. I know I'm throwing a lot of terminology, but once you have your D2L access, right, you're going to go into it. You're going to start to understand what all of these things are. CPA explains it really, really well in their workshops and whatnot. So just, write these things down, and then when you have access to it, just kind of go in and see what is the competency map, how to use the competency map, and how can it, help you. Okay, next, understand your learning style. Again, so this is really, really important. Are you a visual learner, or are you a, so there's all kinds of learners, right? Hopefully you've gone through university, so you have a bit of understanding on your learning style, right? Do you like to type your notes? Do you like to handwrite them? Do you just like to read everything, 10 times and not take any notes, right? It all depends. Make sure you understand your learning style. Make sure, you experiment with a few learning styles if you don't know one, right? And just, start strong. Do you need to do flashcards, right? What is the method for you to be memorizing, right? Active recall is really good method. If you don't know it, Google it, look it up, right? Look up learning styles, look up, how people are successful in accounting. Things that are really important is understanding the standards, accounting standards. So that, does require a good bit of memorization. So taking notes is extremely crucial in my opinion, so I would do that. Support system, last but not least, support system. Okay, so you want to make sure you are mentally prepared, you are mentally strong, you're mentally ready to take this course, and not just take a course, but really succeed in it. Really, try to understand the material from the perspective of you're going to be a CPA one day, and how are you going to apply this material, right? Try to apply this material. For those who are working while taking the course, right, try to apply the material. Now, your support system is your family, friends, coworkers, right? So you want to make sure you kind of, have at least one person that you can kind of go to, talk to, right, when things get hard, when you're demotivated, or if you're just struggling, if you're having a hard time, right? Are there mentors in your life? Is there a boss you can talk to? Is there a coworker who's done this course before, right? Is there anyone that you can reach out to in case you are struggling, in case your assignment 1 did not come back with the best of grades, right? Or assignment 2, right? So just kind of, try to make a list of people that maybe you could reach out to, maybe talk to them in advance, right? Just kind of go around and talk to people, right? For especially anyone who's already done the CPA program or has passed core 1, get their 2 cents, ask them, hey, if something happens, would you be there? Would you kind of hold me accountable? Would you kind of help me through my journey, right? So you want to do that, and that is going to be really, really helpful. All right, you guys, so that is how I prepared and planned for being successful in core 1, and it went really, really well. I kind of applied the same principles to core 2 and all my other courses. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for clicking in. Please let me know what other content I can make, and I will see you next time. Bye.